Just sit here and behave yourselves.
Conversations from the Porch with your host, author, researcher. Good day. Welcome. You are listening to Conversations from the Porch with your host, author, researcher, and intrepid truth-teller, Jack Hart. Now, from the porch, here's Jack Hart.
Here we are, halfway to Monterey. It's freezing cold out there. All right, yeah, the sun is shining, but at least, they ain't making much of a difference. I guess it was in the low teens last night. Okay, I've probably gotten myself a bit sidetracked. I mean, I've probably forgotten who I was and where I came from. I mean, when I was on VT, Veterans Today, I knew who the enemy was. And they're the ones who brought up Veterans Today. And the next thing I knew, I had an MI6 agent was my managing editor and was heckling me in the comment sections. I guess I got a personal problem with the Jews, and I'm not going to get sidetracked to go into it why here. Let's just say they make it impossible to consider National Socialism as a viable form of government.
Although that's being pushed very, very slowly.
It's like the kids are getting told, socialism is the way, and, you got Bernie Madoff and stuff. You got, our Generation Z there is looking at I'd hate to be a kid this day and age. I really would. My kids did well, but I think that has more to do with who I am than who they are. Our enemy, and I'm talking about, when I say our, I'm talking about the Five Eyes. I'm talking to you in Australia. I'm talking to you in Canada. I'm talking to you in Great Britain. Our enemy is the British aristocracy. They are at the bottom of all this. When you look and you see Jews crawling all over the pages of People magazine, it was known 50 years ago that the Jews were their bankers. That's their hall of mirrors. That's what's called the palace mayor in the old days. They hide behind the palace mayor. I'm including, I went and I dug up stuff. My old, I called it my Cayman Island Pirates post, where actually it was Matthias who dug it up, A Rage. And it's an award-winning film video from 2016. And it traces exactly how, ostensibly the British Empire was over after World War II. Ostensibly. You don't rule the world for 300 years and then just forget everything you learned.
You still have all those same connections.
Right, and they still have the money. They adapted, and they don't do it with guns anymore. They do it with offshore banking. They have 50 trillion at least in the Cayman Islands. And when you look at the endless war in the Ukraine, when that war could have got settled, who went over there and talked Zelensky out of it? It wasn't an American president. It was Boris Johnson, wasn't it? And everybody says, oh, he's doing a message for... No, he wasn't. He was doing a message for the British aristocracy. And they were told, like McGregor, oh, yeah, Britain's a Lilliputian. No, Colonel McGregor. Britain, you can't, nobody knows what went into the Cayman Islands, where it came from. They have more money than God, all right? And they told him that his financing was unlimited. And that's why this war continues, okay? That's why this war is endless. Now we're looking at a revolution in Iran. I don't know how they're doing now. It seems to have gotten quiet, but maybe that's just because the Iranians got control of the media. But you know what? Who sheltered Ayatollah Khomeini? Huh? Where did he go when he was in exile? Wasn't it England? Wasn't it London? Wasn't it the same place Karl Marx went to? When you look at all the problems in the world, they can be traced back to the city of London and the banking industry there. They're the ones who put me out of business, man. They relegated me from the front page to I'm not even in the sports section anymore, am I? And I knew where it was coming from when they did it. I knew who bought Veterans Today and dispersed probably the greatest lineup of dissident writers that ever was put together and assembled on the internet. Who's really running YouTube and the nonsense that comes over that comes out of my cousin's feed? The Candace Owens and Valhalla and all the garbage Charlie Kirk. Who's really running that? You think it's the Jews? I don't. And I look at the great replacement that's going on. They've always shitted on their own people harder than they shit on anybody else. From Whitechapel to Jack the Ripper when they were doing God knows what kind of human black magic in their own ghettos. Jack London went there just to do and lived there against it. They told him not to, just to write up how poor those people were. And now the British, the Irish, the Scottish are being replaced with African cannibals, with Muslims. They've been replaced. They've basically been replaced. And that goes for the rest of Europe, from the Scandinavian countries to Germany to France. Now, I think France has its own agenda, which probably can be traced to the Masonic, the Freemasons in Paris, because they had a great deal to do with the spreading of communism. It's another thing the Jews get totally blamed for. If you read into it, you'll find out that most of those leading communists were Freemasons and were being financed from Paris. Yes, a lot of them get financed from New York City, Jews, but the majority of them, and I started to write a book about it, were getting financed from Paris. But let me not digress. Now, what's come out now, and I've included the video. Tucker Carlson just did an interview with a Russian, he's actually one of Putin's boys, and he's a spokesman for the Kremlin. And he said that if this continues, and they're at a standstill, because they despite what these idiots like Scott Ritter and Gregor and the rest of them are telling you, they cannot get through American weapons backed by this British money. And they know it. So
it's called a meat grinder.
Yeah, it's a meat grinder. And what are the British going to do now for their citizens? They've just increased the draft age to 65. You're off, Bill. It's front lines for you if you lived in England. Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
65.
And it's not the draft age, it's the recall.
Recall age, excuse me.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's not a big difference because you're going. Guys like you are going. That's who they want. That's why they increased it. The guys who got actual war experience. And they're going to send them into the meat grinder now. And believe me, none of that Muslim trash is going to go into the army. It's going to be all whites. That's what they're doing in their advertisements. All of a sudden now, all advertising included black people, diversity. Now, advertisements for the army in Great Britain show only whites, only white men.
They're doing the same thing here with recruiting for ICE.
Are they? Yeah. Well, I think. Well, we'll get into that. My point being, my point being is, I think America, I mean, socialism is at the door, okay? And I'm not talking about the good kind, which I consider National Socialism. I'm talking about Marxist socialism. These kids are going for it, all right? They have no future, and they know it, and they know it. And so they're looking for a lifeline, and guys like Bernie Madoff have given it to them. Ocasio-Cortez, we make fun of her, but she's no idiot, and don't underestimate her. And
Bernie Sanders, no. Bernie.
Excuse me, I get my Jews mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, Bernie Sanders, right. Well, he's the leading intellectual. Him and Noam Chomsky. I call him Noam with a G because he's a gnome. $30,000 a speaking engagement, and he's a communist.
Didn't he just die?
Did he?
I think so.
Good. He's in hell now where he belongs.
Anyway, go ahead.
He's the communist pushing communism at $30,000 a speaking engagement he was charging. Yeah. It doesn't matter who bombed the World Trade Center. Another thing we could probably trace back to MI6.